Okay, good evening, guys. Welcome back to Not Solid Night Show. So, as you guys might have known, the platforms that we are very familiar with, Facebook has actually rebranded their company name into Meta Platforms, right? So, they are a company that is going deep into an alternate universe or an alternate world that we live our virtual lives in, and they are going to double down in and making our future virtual world a little bit more interesting than it currently is. So of course, they are not the only company on only stocks that actually is going into the metaverse investment theme. So here are 10 stocks I think are worth your attention, and we will highlight what they are doing in terms of creating or contributing to the metaverse, right? So as always, let's go through all of them. Before that, there's a disclaimer. So yeah, uh, whatever companies that we share is just for your knowledge purposes, and also for your entertainment purposes as well. So do not take it as a buy, call, sell, call, or even hold decision, and do your due diligence if you think that a company has better prospects and also jive with your investing thesis and risk profile. So before without further ado, I will pass it to Chun to talk about what is metaverse first. Let the get a deeper understanding on what it is, and yeah. So Chun, what is all big things about Meta?
Yep. So I think Metaverse becomes quite popular after Facebook have announced they are going to change their name into Meta Platform Inc. So it's a new name. So, but actually, it's worth for us to actually look into definition of Metaverse and why does it matter for the futures. So I think Metaverse, by if you break the word into two, Meta is basically related to beyond, and then verse is technically referring to universe. So it's beyond the universe, and then you can actually relate them as a concept of the future iteration of internet, and then make up by the virtual worlds where you can interact with people virtually and without the need of going to specific place, specific area to actually meet up, right? So if we are going to talk about metaverse, besides just Facebook having the ambition to become the leader, this is the 7 core component that can realize or build up the metaverse, right? So to make this thing happen, you need to have the good hardware, and then of course need to have enough computing power, have the networking capability to connect me and you in the virtual world, and of course the virtual platform itself need to have some sort of interchange tools. So why this interchange tool is important is because not only Facebook will be working on metaverse or creating the virtual reality kind of application, there will be other companies. So for the other companies to interact with each other, they need some sort of tools or standard to let them communicate. And of course, everything about this, you can also spend and also use the money to buy some virtual goods. So you need the payment services. And the last is you being another person of you inside the virtual world. So the content and including your identities is quite important in this whole thing. So this 7 is a core component that build up metaverse. So why virtual worlds or the virtual realities kind of things is quite important based on Art Index, right? So they are forecasting that by 2025, this entire virtual world's revenue can go up to 400 billions. So it's including a couple of things, all the application and so on. So a lot of people are very bullish into this, and then you can see this is not something that come suddenly. So it has been built up through the immerse of a new technology. So for example, Facebook acquired this company called Oculus that allowed you to have the VR tools for you to actually check out the virtual worlds easily. And then of course, with the rise of some game, for example, Fortnite, Minecraft, or even Roblox, all these actually make metaverse become more and more easy to be realized, right? And then when we talk about the opportunities itself, if it look into the commerce itself, Epic Game as the leader of the virtual realities, in terms of creating those games, their valuation has been going up from a year-to-year perspective. And you can see by April 2021, their valuation actually go up to 30 billions, and they are expected to actually grow furthermore in the coming years. All this is a good sign to actually say Metaverse can be the future. Of course, COVID also accelerated how the future of work will look like. You can see a lot of people are going to work remotely or in the form of hybrids. So to make all these things happen easily, you need to work remotely, and all this is related to Metaverse market. Right. So we'll go straight into the so-called top 10 stock that worth your attention, beside Facebook being the one that actually catch your attention. So of course, I won't go through Facebook in details, but if you talk about the Metaverse point of view that come from Facebook, they have been building up the capabilities. So of course, they have so-called the biggest social medias network in the world, and this actually helped them with a very good fundamentals. But to be frank, they are actually struggling recently due to the fact that they cannot keep a lot of young adults or younger generation. They are losing their traffic to TikToks and so on. So I think this is the reason why Mark Zuckerberg having a vision to bring the crowd back, and Metaverse is so-called the answer. And recently, they also get hit quite badly due to the Apple privacy, and then a lot of revenue has been struggling. So this is the first a very obvious target that you can see in the Metaverse entire world. The second one that actually come into it is NVIDIA. So you might be curious why NVIDIA is important to realize the Metaverse opportunities, because all these things you need literally the hardware to power up your nice screens and power up the nice interaction that actually happen virtually in 3D form and whatnot. So NVIDIA is technically the GPU market leaders. The graphic processing units is one of the top in the world. So it's the one that actually a lot of people are having a very bullish theory on them due to the image of Metaverse that need a lot of processing power. So the third one is when you talk about universe, actually you shouldn't relate straight to Facebook, but Roblox should be the one that you should look after. So basically, they are a very new. They are not new lah, but maybe for people that didn't experience their service or gaming before, they can be quite new for you. So they just actually IPO this year, and then they are an online gaming platform and allow people to create the game easily within a total new world inside their ecosystem. And then you can see their revenue has been growing. And in terms of the Q2 2021, they are having a 127 year-on-year growth. So this is something that you should definitely look into that, because to have something in the entire different world, they are the one that actually realizing right now, and they have a lot of kids attention. So if can zoom into their company's annual report and so on, you can see that a lot of their existing active user is actually children's. So it's people like 13 years old and below. So they are capturing that market and can be very, very captive when this guy grow up, and then they will continue with their habit that they like during their childhood. So Roblox is another one that you should really take your attention if you're interested in Metaverse. The fourth one is Tencent from the other side of the world, which is in China. So why Tencent is inside this Metaverse stock list is because other than their popular application like WeChat, they actually are the king of gaming in China or even the world. So why we will say that is because they have about 40% stake in Epic Game, which is a popular game makers of Fortnite, and of course they create a lot of virtual game as well. Other than Epic Games, they also have 5% stake in Activision, Blizzard, and also Ubisoft. So all this is the key reason that Tencent can be a one good candidate when talk about Metaverse. Because beyond just gaming, they also have a lot of things that can bring into the ecosystem. For example, their social medias, which is WeChat, They also have a stake in a lot of live streaming platform. All these things, when you connect together, it can be a very big ecosystem play for Metaverse like Facebook. So the fifth one is when you wanted to talk about this, gaming is one of the core element in Metaverse, and to have the game working, being created easily, Unity come into play. So we used to cover Unity previously. So if you're interested, you can check out the link above or inside the description. Where we will cover their business model in details. But the key highlight about them is you can see about 71% of the top 1,000 mobile games actually made by Unities, and 94 of the top 100 game development studios by revenue are their customers. And currently they have about 2.7 billion active users. So this is the top 5 stock that's related to Metaverse. I'll actually pass to Jupan to carry on the 6th candidate until the last one.
Right, thank you, Junbei. So I think when it comes to Metaverse, you have to think of it, if you want to invest into it, you also need to think of it as a creator or from multiple stakeholder perspective. So we went through the parties or the companies that are offering the platforms, and then you touch on the GPU players as well, the ones that are going to help us visualize all of these by supporting it via the chip point of view. So of course, after Unity, you have Autodesk. So Autodesk is a company that is in the business of designing software for architecture, engineering, and construction. And straight away, you can link it that you need to have some sort of software or some sort of company coming in and say that, hey, we have the technicalities, the know-how to help you build your virtual world. And through the software, through the app and services of Autodesk, this company is able to help contribute to building multiverse or metaverse worlds in the upcoming future as well. Right, so also do check them out. The next one would be a company that I think we are very much familiar with, Microsoft. So they started off as one of the most default operating systems for computers back in the early 80s, 90s, when they started to gain some market fame. And they also went through a tough period. And as of recently, they are also one of the key players in the cloud platforms as well. So apart from that, they are also into gaming. They are Xbox business pillar, and they have also come out with a lot of ancillary and supporting services and devices like your HoloLens, and also owning companies that create and design Minecraft. And then Xbox as a gaming pillar is not only just going to satisfy tech perspective, but also introduce us to the metaverse world as well. The next one would be another one that another one of the big tech, so Amazon. So you might be wondering that how is it possible that a company that is in the e-commerce business actually come to play as a metaverse candidate. So you can see that at the end of the day, our virtual worlds will be hosted on the internet, and you will need companies that provide good computing power, good hosting services as one of the key candidates to help support and make sure that the metaverse world stays alive for as long as possible. So AWS is actually one of the key metaverse enabler, and of course they also will actually come to play as a virtual reality shopping mall, since they already have that kind of specialty and are doing it already on their current Amazon platform. Right. And number 9 would be a company that most of us are quite aware of if you are living in Southeast Asia, Sea Limited. They have actually multiple verticals coming into play including e-commerce, gaming, and also their financial services as well. So as you can see, our top 10 companies that we featured or that we highlighted, a lot of them are coming from the gaming perspective. And once you have a well-known game, you can actually spin it off and create this sort of alternate universe or metaverse that we might want to actually have an experience with. So you can see that CDmeter is one of them as well, and they're also coming with the fact that they all do have experience in e-commerce and also financial services, and that also will come to play supporting their so-called roadmap into the metaverse world. So I will not go to detail. Their most well-known game is Free Fire, and then with all these three sectors or three pillars come to play and synergize well, it can actually be a good roadmap for C to enter the metaverse prospect as well. And last but not least, if you find it hard to actually buy or pick the 9 individual companies, and you would actually want to take a safer route, you can actually consider the ETF Meta. So straightforward, you can go to just your brokerage account, and then you can just type it Meta ETF. Because if you just type Meta, probably they will link you to Facebook's new ticker. But if you type Meta ETF, you will be redirected to this Roundhill Investments Metaverse ETF. So as you see, the companies that we have talked about just now, they are also the top holdings of Meta ETF. So you can see Nvidia, Roblox, Facebook, Autodesk right there. And this is a safer and more well-rounded approach if you are uncertain to picking the eventual winner. And this approach actually helps you to ride on the metaverse prospect, regardless of any underperformance of a single individual companies that is actually going to pull down your entire portfolio. So, but if you have the confidence to pick out the eventual winner, you can go straight ahead and do deeper analysis on the prospective stock and before you actually invest into them. And speaking about that, if you really want to up your investing game, we do actually have a constructive learning group, which we call our Premium Club. We do have a private Facebook group where we bounce off ideas, come up with our own analysis, and also our study on our prospective companies. There are a lot of companies that we mentioned just now we have covered, so you can just sign up and then get access to the companies that we have already analyzed. We also do private videos similar to this, but it will cover a wide range of topics as well. So the previous one was actually on portfolio management and also value traps, that we have made available online to everyone as well. Do check it out. We'll link it in the description box. So yeah, we also have already analyzed CDmeter as well as a premium article, and we also do deep dive into some dividend stocks and providing some exclusive reports for the Dividend Gem members as well. And lastly, cloud computing companies will also have some sort of catalyst and prospects when it comes to metaverse. So we will be covering a handful of companies during this upcoming thematic transcripts, which is Castle on Clouds. We have covered already the EV segments, the semiconductor companies, and also the e-commerce companies. So do check it out if you really want to take a bite out of the metaverse catalyst prospects companies. Right. And here's just a snapshot. We won't go through in detail, but when you talk about cloud companies, there are multiple companies and multiple service providers coming into play. Right. So here you have it. We hope to see you in our Premium Club, where we will actually offer you insights, detailed analysis, and also have healthy discussion on whatever companies that might excite you. So before we end, maybe I will bounce it off Chun-Bing. What do you think about Metaverse? Would it be as big as e-commerce or EV or even semiconductor that we have actually studied and deep dive on for the past year in 2021?
Yeah, I think Metaverse is like electric vehicles that gaining the traction a few years back, but a lot of unknown. Then people that is confident with Tesla, they'll just buy on and hold. But a lot of time there are a lot of fluctuation, and then people just leave them. So it's the same state for Metaverse right now. Very exciting, but a lot of unknown. So it depends on your investment strategy. If you wanted to diversify, then maybe ETF is the best one. If you wanted to go more conservatively, then maybe go for those hardware computing power will be the better option, because if this thing doesn't go well, it will be used for other things. For example, your AWS will be still used for hosting and so on. But if you're a true believer or in Metaverse, maybe Facebook, Roblox, all these things they are more forefront. because the objective of the company is to bring this into realities and then connecting people. So it depends on investing strategy. So Metaverse for me is something going to be very exciting in the future. But then depend on your investment strategy, you should pick your stocks wisely.
Yep, I fully agree with you. And of course, if you find it difficult to actually pick a winning or prospective stock, do join us, and you can even post your request, and we will help you analyze and deep dive a particular stock. And we already will do all of these thematic related analysis and compare all of these companies from the same themes together, and hopefully will help you further understand and help you further analyze on what companies can actually have the highest prospects. So of course, thank you for actually tuning in. It's still going to be the starting of the journey, but if you actually are interested, we are quite hopeful that this is actually one of the key exciting prospects that investors like you and me could actually tap on. And if you do have a company in mind, be it a metaverse related company or normal company out of the scope that we have actually been discussing today, you can actually let us know in the comment section. We'll take a deeper look, and then we'll try to come out with our honest and detailed analysis and sharing like what we have done today. So we'll see you in the next episode of Not Solid Night Show. Take care. See you next week. Bye bye.